This is calling back the number, which was a means of engaging what is audible activity creation while the entity, a bunch of demons, are aware of what I'm doing inside of my office. Literally, as I document, as I write anything down, as I compose an email, as I, like I'm doing now, verbally articulate my email in a video, which is also operating a communication device. The entity calls at 8:25 a.m. when I'm in the midst of reviewing voice messages. And this third party calling from the phone number 213-806-9162, who's engaged in federal stalking. Literally, my calling her back is documenting her criminal engagement of the pattern of conduct. This is a means of surveillance, and the people of the state that are the same demons pacing up and down Alvarado while light streams on the Black Gate, stalking in the path with flashing light. This is the demons that are Lorraine Pena and her granddaughter and great-granddaughter, whatever level of generations. These are demons engaging in what are very serious federal offenses in the shoes of the government. And let me also point out, it's not a coincidence that Lorraine Pena, to her own demise, and literally that minor child who's going to be removed from those terrorists who are using a minor child as the focus when they are indeed engaging in what is group stalking and monitoring. Lorraine Pena is aware of the fact that I highlighted her psychotic and demonic criminal activity in the prolonged discussion last night. This is the pattern that you will witness through the documentation that I capture. The entity, even as I document, for example, by company name, you will witness that same company. It's not a coincidence, especially in a specific environment. You will see this pattern over and over again. That same, it's by the way, exhibiting the fact that these are indeed demons. With regard to prosecution, it is the state, okay, that is aware of any and everything about its criminal conduct that's being gathered and accumulated and documented. It is also real-time knowledge and a mission with regard to federal stalking on the venue of the internet. It is relevant to all of the above, but I want to point out the pattern, which again, these demons who are centered around they're outwardly focusing their attention on a minor child in the same way that the people of the state want to use their companies. You want to use your place of business. You want to use your employees. You want to use your child. You will lose any and all of that. In addition to what is literally losing your freedom, Lorraine Pena and this female that is operating the black Jeep in relevant position, stalking in the path with the hazard lights, that's light activity relevant positioning, and they're pacing around the vehicle. And they're psychopaths that know that they're being documented. And these demons engage in the same conduct, the self-defeated behavior of what is literally telling on themselves. This is what the entity does in helicopters. It doesn't get any more foolish than this, handing over additional evidence against yourself to the prosecutor. This is what the entity does. And, the entity is doing this while the entity is pacing up and down in traffic. That's not traffic. You've seen the engineer light moving across the street. You've seen the light source that remains over this property, literally at that entrance. From 9:37 until 5:23, that video lasted well beyond 5:23 p.m. So what everyone is doing is already known. So I'm just showing you what the entity is doing with knowledge of the fact that they were documented. That's a psychopath and literally a sore loser. It's pathetic. Like I said, she's 70 some odd years old, clutching a child and using that child as an excuse to engage in what is outright criminal conduct, and the federal government's not ignorant about that. You're going to see that, and you're also going to remove that child who's subject to what is abuse by the government, because that's what I'm documenting. And it's also witnessing an ongoing determination to threaten the life and target someone else in the shoes of the government. This is all impunity and malice. Both of those actors are going to federal prison. What I'm documenting inside of my office right now is the entity calling while I am capturing, again, the people of the state calling on the office phone, leaving a voicemail. As I check that voicemail, it's audible activity. All right. It is engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring, but nonetheless, while I'm on the phone at 8:25, arbitration from the phone number being what is 1-323-437-7768. And that's the number that I call that you're looking at is not even an active number. And I called it back again, 8:27, less than 2 minutes later. So this is the pattern of conduct of maintaining the elements of monitoring. Every phone call is serving the criminal pattern of conduct. The people of the state, speaker companies as a third party, using the communication devices, violating federal housing policies in doing so, and using the company business, using the devices, the resources of that business to facilitate federal group stalking and monitoring, which is how you have that pattern of conduct acting in sync with the state that likes to use helicopters in the specific environment while acting with the demon-possessed, the people of the state, who are also acting pursuant to the identical pattern. The entity is doing so while maintaining real-time knowledge of everything that's being documented. So how are you aware? What's already been exhibited? Those that are coming onto the grounds and applying for example, giving me an application to apply. Let's refer to Amiko and her son. Amiko's already documented this is a demon, a third party group stalker, and that demon possession and that group stalking system is ceaselessly underway as she's present under the light source. Engineer light moves all across the apartment building. The entity is group stalking with the state that's stalking in helicopter. This is already documented. They are engaging in what is living on the grounds of the property. They're coming on to visiting on the grounds of the property, like you see Lorraine Pena and her daughter or granddaughter, whatever generation that particular demon happens to be with regard to the familial relationship between those terrorists, because that's what they're engaging in terrorism, and they're centering their visible focus on a child. It's entirely psychotic. And that's why you're removing minor children. But nonetheless, the entity is doing so while they're calling. This is the people of the state that are calling, and I'm calling them back. I'm sure I'm going to give them the housing information. I'm going to get their information, and I'm going to prosecute them. The system is ceaselessly underway. It is currently 8:32 a.m. And as I note this, the entity calls from a fake number. I call that number back, and I just want to document that. And that is going, and it is conformity to exactly what I'm stating. Every person that's calling, every email that's sent, every person on the ground, every person stalking in planes and helicopters in the specific environment, which is never changing. It is the pattern of conduct, and it is occurring now as I'm documenting it in the workplace. So it is Monday, June 10, 2024. This is documentation of the ongoing pattern of conduct. Everybody that I'm documenting, including, again, universal waste. I was about to say smart janitorial. Smart janitorial is going to federal prison for their systematic facilitation, which is documented on Wednesdays and Fridays. And also any federal stalking that I'm documenting on the emails. But they are also, while you're group stalking, you're engaged in federal stalking. They're all monitoring. They represent communication devices. They're acting in sync. Okay. And they don't have to send me a text message in order to do so. They don't have to call the office phone in order to do so. I am highlighting and detailing all of the aspects of the entity's criminal system. Everybody that is group stalking in California is engaged in federal stalking in violation of Title 18. All right. The entity is doing so via universal waste systems, amplified audible activity. The entity is waiting until the later hours in the morning. This is 7, and the demon possessed engage in this amplification specifically and intentionally while I am in the midst of prayer. Okay. So this is going back to what are the elements of monitoring, but I'm also letting you know the condition of this entity that is group stalking. It's demonic activity. It's satanic. And you have what is an act of hostility by demons who are engaging in the pattern of conduct and doing so in the moment while I'm in prayer, which a demon knows. A demon also knows when I'm in operation of my communication device. A demon also knows exactly where I'm at while they're in the path, and light is flashing on my ceilings. Light is flashing above the roof on a bus. Light is flashing on alongside apartment buildings. Light is flashing through rear view mirrors and across windows while you're just driving a car. I'm speaking to what is the unmistakable pattern of conduct. And that is what I'm documenting. And I want to make sure I point all of that out. And I am beginning the workday. It's 8:35 on Monday, June 10, 2024. And this is P.O.C.